believe at Mind of the Athlete that it's about taking care of the emotional health of the athletes. That you know how to do what you do academically and athletically. The real question is, how are you doing emotionally? How are you doing emotionally? And as we often say at Mind of the Athlete, our mantra is clear mind, better performance. Say it with me. Clear mind, better performance. I'm so excited to be rolling out this sports psychology curriculum with you. We've been progressing through a number of these topics over the years. Right here we're looking at year 4, top 1, better choices. That's our focus for today. 7 better choices great athletes make. The 4 choices that athletes make today, I believe, have a similar root. And the root is largely in our emotional health. If we're struggling emotionally with anger, anxiety, depression, frustration, what often happens is that we begin to get stressed. Under stress, we regress and will often make compromised choices. As a licensed psychologist, I get the Monitor magazine, which is our gold standard in psychological research. This magazine's cover story in September was your mounting stress. And in particular, it showed something pretty alarming. Take a look at this graph. Anxiety, depression, and relationships are the 3 major stressors that we see coming into college counseling centers. And in 2010, anxiety, the red line, took a spike. It went up in 2011, 12, and look what it did again last year. Anxiety levels are extremely high. Why this is important is because when the anxiety gets high, when depression gets high, we often make worse choices. We've got to make better choices by taking care of our emotional health. The problem is, most of the time, our parents don't even know we're struggling. According to the research of college students last year, only 7% of parents reported their college student as experiencing mental health issues. We've got to do more to raise awareness on mental health, emotional health, so that ultimately it leads, consequently, to what? To better choices. We're going to walk through 7 better choices that great athletes make. And the first one is simply this: the best question ever. Is it wise? Is it wise? Is it wise for you to do that? And as Andy said, just because it isn't the wrong choice doesn't mean it's a wise one. Lou Holtz said one of the best quotes that I've heard regarding the relationship between academics and athletics. He said this: when I was a coach at Notre Dame, I could tell the difference between the athletes coming in that would likely be All-Americans for me, as opposed to the other athletes coming in that probably weren't going to have that same kind of success. And he said there was one characteristic that these athletes had over here that had great success. And it came down to a simple choice that they made after dinner each night. Lou went on to say that every athlete, after they eat their dinner, returns back to their room. And when they enter their room, there's a bed and there's a desk. And there's a choice there that has to be made. Which choice do you make? Every day, you'll walk into your room after dinner, and there's a bed in the desk. I encourage you to choose wisely. Sleep is the #1 factor in performance. You guys describe your generation as tired. Number 2, most popular word, came out as well, lazy. I don't see your generation as lazy, but I do see you as tired. Raise your hand if you feel tired. Yeah. If you want to avoid the fatigue that you experience from being tired, let me share with you one piece of advice which could make a big difference. The most important factor in sleep is actually the consistency of your sleep. If you want to feel better, if you want to perform better, great athletes keep their sleep consistent continuously. What is the most important fraction in sports? This is our fourth best choice that great athletes make. Here it is. E over I, or I over E. E stands for emotions, and I stands for intelligence. Check this out. Is your E over your I, or is your I over your E? Because when your emotions override your intelligence, that is when we often make bad choices. Your emotional energy matters. And when your emotional energy is high, you make great choices typically. But it's when your emotional energy gets low that your E gets over your I. Number 5 is really a thought process. Thinking A to B to C to D is in psychology a very important trait that we call sequential thinking. Sequential thinking is a hallmark of great leaders. It's the ability to string together a series of possibilities based upon a singular event. Trait 6 is developing the 6 inches between your ears. It's about taking the time to really work on your mind, on your emotions. Sports psychology is essential. Great athletes are doing it. Who's this guy? Mark Cuban. Allow me to share a story with you about Mark Cuban. In May, I was in the green room at the Indianapolis 500. I was there with a driver that I was working with, who was in the race. Mark Cuban was the gentleman dropping the green flag. I was standing in the green room, and he saw my shirt, which said "Mind of the Athlete" on it. To which he came over to me and engaged in a conversation, asking, "What is that?" I told him about Mind of the Athlete, told him I was a sports psychologist and what I did. He said to me, "I believe in what you guys do." The 7th and final better choice that we see great athletes make is the topic of giving back. The question I have for you is, when have you last given back? Think about it. It's important for us to take the information we're learning here and go impart it and share it with somebody else. That is a hallmark of great athletes. And those are the 7 better choices that great athletes make. It's my sincere hope, as always here at DeSales, that something I said moved you, that it would motivate you to make better choices. Like the great people that have led so many of us, like Pat Summitt or Coach K, their words continue to echo about the choices we make. And it's my hope that those choices translate to your performance on the field. As always, it's a privilege and a pleasure for me to be sharing this stuff with you guys. Thank you so much for being here tonight.